Hey there, people. How you doing? Um, I have some really cool stuff that I wanted to show you uh, in in the effects area. And I'm going to bring it right down to here. Okay, so let's say there's a video that I wanted to have a split screen. Notice on this side how I shot this, not in portrait mode, but not landscape, but portrait mode, kind of. I shot it vertical, and with my camera, I turned my camera around, and I got this, and I got this little scene that I want to do. I do a split screen to make it a cool effect. One of the things you can do, you can bring your, I'm going to bring this down in audio, without audio. And one of the things that you can do is you could put your first video, your first clip. I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut the speed in half. I shot this in 60 frames per second, and I'm going to add a really cool effect. Now, what I normally do is how I do it is I set my thing up. Obviously, this is sideways. I don't want like that, like that. I have this down to 50% like I like it. I'm going to hit the angle and I'm going to hit 90%. And I'm going to have this right side up like normal. And I'm going to zoom it out so the whole video will be displayed. And I want this like to be on one side. Now I could add these two side by side. I'm going to put another one here. I make another one, put it on top, and I take that one and I move it to the side. So I got two of them, right? Now, if I wanted to, I could just like zoom it in and then have my split screen right there. But that's not really, nice and spicy at all or anything like that. And it doesn't look fancy. It just plays, and it has both. It has like a close up of her there, and it has a whole body shot there. But I want to spice it up. So one of the things you can do, you put on it, you can put video collage, and you can edit the effects in that and change things around. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that to make things quicker. I have a video collage set up the way I want it to, by having it in my video custom power bins. And so in here, what I do is I got video collage right here. I got one wider. I got another one right here. So I have the left screen. I got wider, and then I got the right screen wider as well. And usually, what I'll do is I'll copy the attributes from this one to this one. And what I'll do is I'll hit Control C, and then I'll hold this right up here and hit Control V, and I'll copy all attributes except for how I composed the video. I don't want any of that, so I'll apply that, and it's going to put the video collage there. I'll copy, do the same thing, hit Alt-V for pasting on there the attributes, and I'll get rid of all these. I don't need them, and I'll apply that. Now, you don't see anything, that's fine, but I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it over to the side so I will be able to see it. And then this one over here. So normally, with I'll have my effects here, and I'll have my window and all that stuff. But normally, let me undo all this because I copied something incorrect. All right, I'm gonna hit Alt-V on it, paste all attributes, and I'm gonna get rid of all of these. Something got pasted that I shouldn't have, but that's fine. And I don't want to copy flip and all that stuff. So I got that in there. I'm going to copy this one, paste this one there. Same thing, copy all attributes, but just get rid of the ones that I don't want. And so there we go. Now this should be allowing me to put in my video. There it is. Okay, so let's take a look. Now I can pan this around and I can set this up. Obviously this is zoomed in too much, so I'm going to zoom this out and I'm going to set this up the way I want it. So while I'm in here, I'm just in the video transform area. My collage is already set up, that I set up in here with these settings for my offsets and all that stuff. So I'm going to zoom it in until it's perfectly aligned right there, so there's no yellow right there. And I'm going to bring this down. Now I need my video collage to be a little bit longer to show more, so I can zoom this out and so the yellow is not there. So what I need is right around here to be acceptable. So what I'm going to do is go into edit. I'm going to be in this one over here, and then I'm going to go into globals, and then I can hit my vertical and horizontal offsets. Now the first one I want to do is my vertical offset. I want to make it bigger when I do this. So here we go. We're going to bring this bigger. I'm going to move the video out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is go back, go to the effects, and hit my vertical offset, and I can make it bigger. I don't want it to go over the screen or anything like that. So I'm going to hit the vertical spacing. And here's the vertical spacing. I'm going to bring this to be just as big. Hit vertical offset, bring it down right probably about there. And I'm going to make it longer, almost to the full size of the screen, but not much. And I can also bring this down just a little bit too, which is the horizontal spacing. I can bring that. Horizontal offset, I can move it over. I can bring it to like maybe right around there to make that look good. Go back to my video and bring this over and see if I can get the whole thing in there when I zoom it in. And now I can get the whole thing in there. As you can see that's pretty much what I want right there. For the second one, this shouldn't be a problem. I want this zoomed in anyway, and this is what I want. As far as, as far as my composition, and I'm going to change the vertical offset on this and the vertical spacing because I want this to be as high as this one. So I'm going to bring that up till about there, right there, so it's pretty much looks even with it, and the vertical offset can go probably, I got the black line there. I want them to be even. And so I'm going to move that over just like that. And let's move this over. Let's bring that there so that's just as big as this one. And I got an even line between them. I got this exactly how I want it. Now, obviously, I want this. I can even change the effect. This one zooms it in. I can go right down here and I can go to tiles and I can go to the pre-animations and I can do the fly one, get rid of that, change this to left. So this comes this way and that one comes this way. So that way the one on this side doesn't have to go straight down. It doesn't, so this is perfect. So I'm going to go back to tiles on this one, pre-animation, keep this on the right side, get rid of shrink, put that on there, and that is perfect. So when this comes in, it's going to bring them two together from each side of the screen. But I want to make sure I'm going to go right into video, and the first one that I'm going to edit is this big one. I want to make sure that this is going to be exactly what I want. I can center her a little bit, right? Just want to make sure you don't have no yellow over here because that'll look really stupid. There we go. And I hit my keyframing and I move it around, and then I'll bring it down over here so her head is still showing, and I'll move that over around to the center to try and keep it pretty much centered like that. And then I'll bring it down again, bring this over a little bit. Don't want to go past the yellow there. So there we go. We got that. So that looks pretty good. I want to bring this up. I want this to transition kind of properly. And so there we go. I want to bring this back over here. So this is kind of, evenly made out. And she was moving around. So I had to, pan my camera around to follow her. But, and I'm going to move it a little bit over again as far as I can go. And that's the end of the video. Next one, I will do the same thing. And I'm going to bring this up a bit so all of her feet showing. I'm going to have her turn that around, and I'm going to bring this down a little bit so it evens out a bit. I'm going to bring this back up so all of her feet's in there. And there we are. Here we have it. I'm going to bring this up a little bit so it's a little bit even, so that looks, fairly decent. And as the video moves around, I want to make sure, so I'm going to bring this down a bit, just like that, just subtle movements. And there we go. So this is what it would look like when it comes in. And I would have this evened out, and I'd have both sides displaying. You can even do this with 2 different videos if you wanted to. Usually I'll do it with the same video to make it really look cool, so they get like a zoomed in part, and they have a zoomed out one so they can see all of her. But yeah, so that's the video collage effect, and that works flawlessly. I like it. It really it really does a good job at that. I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to change my color and see what that looks like on these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this, I'm going to hit that, see what that looks like, hit that. And so, yeah, I just copied my color and my sharpness into this, and that looks pretty cool. Now this is on a black background. So how do I fix this? I'll use a really cool background. I could use fire or white background. I like the blue one. We can try this one, and we can, get this to mesh in there with that. And I do a couple of cool effects with this. So what I'll do is I'll come over here. This video ends, this part of it, right? And so instead of doing that, this is not the end of the video anymore. So I want to spice this up. I don't want this to look like that. I'm going to increase the size of this so it fills the screen. And I'm going to go here, probably about right here. And I'm going to go into my opacity, and I'm going to hit a keyframe. I'll go to the very end, go 1 frame back, and bring this to 0 opacity. Okay, now this is where it's going to start, and here it is right here. So I'm going to have this right over here, and so this is going to come into it like this. So it kind of like fades it out a bit and brings that in, and then brings this in. And if I have another video, I'll do the same thing, fade it in, doing that. I'm going to turn on my playback cache because I want to be able to render that out to watch it. So right now it's like kind of like going slow and jittery because the cache is copying all the movements. When I play it back, it'll play back in real time. And so yeah, I got a nice background. I got the shadow. See the shadow background that's in there. I can make the shadow more prominent if I want. And I'm watching my video, how it's going to pan out. Now see on this one, I had a lot of headspace in there, right on this end. If I go and edit that and fix that, I could fix it. I'm not going to do it because if I do it, then it's going to turn all this red line again. So let's see what it looks like in real time. So I got this looking really, really cool. And there you go. And there's the real cool first effect that you can do. Looks good. I'm going to hit this out because here's some other things you can do. So I'm going to go into effects and I'm going to go into transitions. It's like when a video starts and ends, like I could just have it clip right to the next one. I could also do what is called a smooth cut, but that's going to be like morphing almost. If I add this in there, it'll kind of morph to the next one. I mean, that can be done, but it kind of looks disturbing. What I like to do is I put the cross dissolve in here and I put that right in the middle and that comes right in like that. I think that looks really good. I could even shorten the amount of time it's going to cross dissolve, and so it'll do it really quick like that. I like that. I could put this like in every one that I want. And so I have all my transition to it, so it's not like a hard cut like that and it comes out like that. It spices it up. It makes it look really good. Really, really elegant. And this is supposed to be an elegant video anyway of a pretty girl. And yeah. Now, when you have video collage, you don't have to do that because you already got an effect going here, transitioning to this, from this to the split screen. So you don't need that. And so I got this transition over here, and that's going to transition to another one like that. And there we go. And let's say that I wanted to add something to the end of that. Let's say I wanted to take this and bring that down like this. Okay. And I wanted to put that to the end of my clip. Or let's say something better. Let's say I wanted to bring this to something like this. Say I wanted this to come up, and I'm going to start it right about there. And that's going to look right into it. It's going to put that thing there. And I'm going to end that right there like that. And here we go. So that's putting like an ending now. But the problem is I have this scene right in there. So I don't want to duplicate it. So I'm going to add in another video. So what I can do is I can go to my media pool, go to my master, and let's say that I want to add, let's say this. Let's say I wanted to take a little scene of her walking like this. Beautiful. And then it ends, and there you go. I'm gonna have my video end this way. And so here we are. I'm going to try to figure out, I'm going to sit this and make this, probably that slow to make it look there. I'm going to obviously edit it. So I'm going to zoom it in to make it look, I always shoot wide so I have plenty of room for moving around. So I can say, oh, I wish I had that part of it in there. And I always have, because I can always digitally zoom a little bit. You don't want to have to digitally zoom a lot, but this is acceptable. This is 4K, and I'm going to edit this to transition properly in there. So I'm going to hit my keyframing, and I'm going to move this, and I'm going to zoom it in a little bit more, just in that amount of time. It's going to zoom in, and I don't even need that much of her legs in there. So I can bring this down and bring this up till right about there. And I can make that look pretty good. And see how the camera is moving around a little bit, but I can fix that. There we go. I'm going to move it over again to try to keep that centered in the screen and move that down a bit. There we go. As I can see, it's moving down. The camera's moving down, but that's good enough. So it's going to look like this, and it's going to transition properly right in there. Now over at this part, I have a little bit too high coming down, as you can see right here. I want this to be fairly like that. And then I will also want this to be down this way here. I don't want it to be too high. So there it is. It's sitting there. It's keeping a good composition, even though she's moving around like crazy. So I got that in there. So now I I want this to transition to the same way. So I want to go like right about there for fade, maybe a little bit more. I'm going to take this, I'm going to go to my opacity, I'm going to hit it to 0, and I'm going to put a keyframe right there. And I'm going to go to the last frame, go 1 frame back, and bring this to 100%. So this comes right in, and it fades it right in nice and smoothly, and looks good. And then at the end over here, I can have it just fade right out at the end of my clip. I put that there. So there's the effects that you can do to spice up your videos a little bit in DaVinci Resolve. Looks good, runs well. DaVinci Resolve does a lot of, it does a lot of good things with effects, and it's very versatile. You can, there's almost no limit of what you can do. You just have to put the time into it to get it done. And you can be a little bit creative, obviously. I like to be creative, and I like to do, to spice up my videos apart from anybody else's, or at least make it interesting. You want somebody to actually keep an interest in the video. You don't want to make it boring, and it makes it all that much better when you spice it up. And there you go. And so I have this, and I got that blending right in like that. You can make it longer, the transition longer if you want. Let's say I wanted the transition to go a little bit longer to right there. So I can go into here and I can cancel that out, and I can bring this back down to 0 and bring the opacity back up right over there, right over there. And let's see how long that will take and how it'll look. And that looks a little bit better. That kind of like transitions pretty well. Looks good. Got a good background, and I got my fade just like I wanted it to at the end of the video. It is at the end of the video, and I got the fade. So many things you can do, many great effects that you can add. I love the cross dissolve to fade in from one video to the other. Sometimes I'll just do a regular high jump cut. Depends on what I want to do. But, since this is supposed to be like an elegant video, pretty girl, thing like that, I wanted to, cross dissolve into each other. It makes it look much more interesting, and that much more better. And I'm going to go back into my color here, and I'm going to go to here, select that, and I'm going to put that in there. So I got pretty much the same. I do want to bring up the gain in this, but I don't want to do it in that one. I'll bring it in the exposure, I'll bring up the gain, I'll bring up the gamma a bit, like there, and also bring up, so that looks a little bit better right there. So when I'm in my video, I got it right here, and it looks normal. And there we go, we have it. We have this turning right into where I want to put this. This is an adjustment layer. I put an effect in the color thing there. I added something in there that I wanted to do, which was I wanted to get rid of some of the green. It was a little bit too greenish, so I got rid of that in there. So I have that right on top. So anything below that adjustment layer, it will affect the video with that color. So basic rule of thumb is when you want to make your videos interesting, you use the tools of the trade to get your videos to look nice, and this is part of what you can do to do that. Obviously, you get some things you can do in Fusion. You can dive deeper into it, and but if you don't want to do that, you still can do quite a bit to get your videos to look very well, and so yeah, I mean, now here's a scene. Let's say I wanted to make this scene right over here a lot slower and last a lot longer. I'm gonna just do this for demonstration purposes. I'm gonna bring this over here, and I got this down to 50%. Okay, there it is at 50%. To me, it's lasting long enough. But if I wanted to, I can stretch it out and make it go like to 38. The only problem is I mean, I shot this in 60 frames per second. The only problem is it's going to be a little jittery and stuff like that because that's going a little bit beyond. I mean, I can go down to 27 and still do this. And how I do it is I go to real-time scaling. I'll select optical flow, and right underneath that, I'll hit enhance better. You can go to AI speed warp better. That takes longer to do. And does a good job at it. And after this cache goes through, I'm going to run it through once. Then you'll be able to see it in real time, and it'll look good. It's not going to look jittery. It's going to look normal, just as you shot this thing in 120 frames per second. And the best way to do it, obviously, is to just set your camera to 120 frames per second if it can do that, and do that with it, so you don't have to do this. But you can use this in a pinch, and that looks nice and smooth, and it's running a lot slower, and it looks good. It's not jittering. It's running a lot faster than this one. And there you go. And then this one, it's running a little slower. It looks pretty good. So the real-time scaling is another effect that you can use to make your videos interesting. And I'm going to have some more stuff on covering this type of thing of how you can make your videos a lot more interesting and, spicing it up. But this is something I just wanted to bring down here. I know this background here, I got this off of a storage area that allows you to download. This was a freebie one. I could do a paid site if I want, but I got this image in a pinch, and it was great. I liked the background. I could use the other backgrounds if I want. I could use fire in the background, or I could use a live video too that has like fire moving, whatever you want to do. I mean, it's there, and it works great. And so I like the way it transitions that way. I like the background that it picks. And the reason why I have a background so the shadow can show, I like that shadow effect at the, around it. Yeah. So anyway, I'll have more videos on this topic and some creative things you can do. I've got tons and tons of things that I do, and I'll share them with you. And I hope this was informative and helped you a little bit and gave you some ideas. Until then, thank you for watching, and have yourself a great day.